deal was like, okay, we can each watch one episode while we're waiting. That when we come back, we'll still be in the same place. But it would be cheating to watch an extra one.
You lucky you watch stuff with your mom. My mom and I don't like the same things, so we can never watch. I mean, she tries sometimes. Like, I actually got her watching Boruto with us. It was so interesting because my sister has been way off the bandwagon on Naruto. Like, she stopped even like far back than I did.
She didn't like it?
No. It's just that she just fell off because she was watching other stuff.
Oh, okay.
So where I just need to start Shippuden, she needs to go back to Naruto regular because she was like way off in the beginning of the series.
Tell me,
my mom.
Okay, yeah.
Because are we started?
Yeah. Girl.
Oh, hey, hey everybody, what's going on? Whitney didn't tell nobody. She started the podcast. Anyway, how y'all doing? This is Triple F Queen Bola.
No tagline wit.
And we are BlerdTalk with Bola and Whitney.
And girl, I never tell you when we start. I purposefully try not to.
She be trying to set me up.
I like starting in media res.
I know, but I would not have gotten into a long story like that. You know what I mean?
And that continue, girl. People might be curious.
Well, I'll get into it because this is my Blerd Out. But hey guys, this is April. I hope you guys are doing well. And it's springy time. The pollen's out. I have my allergy medicine on hand because this pollen is too much.
Oh my God, it's been horrible this year.
Gotta get my raid because the bees are too much and the wasps get away from me.
Oh, that was funny. My mom, when I was there, we went to see Hamilton at the Altria Theater, and she's looking out their like front door, like the glass screen door or whatever, and she was like, "I hope those bees aren't out there." And I'm like, "Mom, bees are good. They have the flowers and the plants." She's like, "No, this one isn't good. This is like a big fat bee. He be like hanging around there, flying back and forth. Like, come out here if you want to." Right. And she's like, "You're not gonna talk to me like that."
Right. She had a whole story.
She didn't say. He said he's not gonna talk to me. She's like, he's not gonna keep me from going outside.
The wasps be the main issue. Like, you be like, they just always come around the door or the window or her car, and I'm like, why are you guys always in the same place? Like, go away. I can't stand I don't like bugs in general.
Yeah,
but I'm just not a fan of I'm just not a fan of God's other creatures. Like, I'm not. I can deal with plants, but not bugs and animals. I'm like,
God's other creatures. We hope you guys had a happy Easter. He is risen.
Yeah. Amen. I hope you guys did have a nice Easter, because this is after Easter, that you're hearing the podcast. But today's episode, we are going to be talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
Honor Among Thieves.
Hey. So we're going to review that in just a little bit. But we are first going to go with our first segment, which is Blerd Out. Blerd Out. Blerd Out. Blerd Out. Thank you. So this is our Blerd Out segment. And then I'm going to start, and I'm going to get into the story that I had started at the top of the pod. But my Blerd Out is about anime. And mostly because Whitney, some of you already know who listen to our previous episodes know that I decided to start rewatching Naruto. Anybody who's like a Naruto fan or anime fan knows of Naruto. Even if you don't watch Naruto, you know of it. You see it everywhere. It is the king of anime. Like, it's the best one. I don't know. I'm sorry. Naruto is the king of anime. Like, I don't care if you don't watch it. It's the king. Anyway, so Naruto is extremely popular. It's been on for like 20 years. Oh my God. Yeah, because it's been on since like early 2000s. And it's still on. Well, Boruto's on now, but Boruto's like the next generation. But it's still like in the world of Naruto.
That seems like too much.
It's amazing. It's wonderful. So I had fallen off when I was watching it, Shippuden when it was out, and I had not caught up. But this year, I decided to restart Naruto Shippuden. That's 500 episodes.
Oh my God!
Yes, I watched all 500 episodes in just a few months. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did. I'm so glad that I got back into the story. The story was so rich. And then you know what's so interesting? In between, I watched all the Naruto movies as well. All 7 of them I watched as well.
How do you know what order to watch the movies in?
They do have an order, but I didn't watch them in order. I watched them all over the place. Because the movies are not canon with the TV show.
Oh, okay.
They're like side stories. The only one that is in canon with the TV show is the last one, because that one talks about Naruto and Hinata, who ends up being the one he falls in love with. So that's the only one that is actually in canon with the TV show.
Okay.
With the anime show, like, the TV series.
Mm-hmm.
But all the other Naruto movies, you can just watch. And they just feature the characters in the world, but they're separate stories.
Okay.
So they're not like, so all sorts of stuff happens in them. Yeah, they're just amazing. But I watched all of the movies as well. I just went in on Naruto, y'all. And I'm like so happy that, but I've been like Naruto crazy. But also because I was trying to get to Boruto. So Boruto is what I'm really blurting out about.
Mm-hmm.
I just want y'all to congratulate me for watching it in just 3 months.
Congratulations,
Yay.
more
Cute. Thank you. But Boruto, I wanted to get to Boruto because one, I was so excited to find out that Naruto and Hinata got married and had kids. Because I was like, Naruto and Hinata are like my favorite couple. Anyway, my new computer, that's my
You got
screen lock. Yeah.
You did that.
I got a new
See,
HP.
I gotta find out on the podcast episode.
I got a new HP computer, and my lock screen is Naruto Hinata. Like, I'm not joking. So, but I wanted to watch Boruto because everyone's been talking about it and talking about if they like it or not. Like, people are either like really down with Boruto or they really don't like it. And I wanted to watch it and see for myself. And so far, I'm liking Boruto.
Okay.
Boruto's different, and it's like upgraded for the modern era. They even like made the town so different. They added like different things like technological advancements and stuff that people are dealing with nowadays, like trains and all this. All that stuff wasn't in Naruto before. Naruto's purely ninja world stuff, but now they're like because it's like, oh, it's the future. It's Naruto's child who's now like, and Naruto's the Hokage, and now his son is a ninja, and you're looking at this. So they expanded the world, and they add all these different stories and stuff, and it's still like a nice olden mix. And then you see your favorite characters grown up as parents and stuff, and I just love it. They incorporate them in the story too, but it's still more about Boruto's adventures. But it's not going to be as long, but they already have like over 200 episodes.
Oh my God.
So I'm not done.
Oh my God.
But I'm enjoying it. It's one thing if you are like, the shows are not long. Like I said, if you cut out the opening and the closing theme, you're really looking like 18 minutes. But I watch the opening closing thing every so often because they change them. So you find out what the next story arc is going to be about, and you get good music. So I love anime music. I have a whole like list full, like the list is like 50 songs now because I've been adding them as I've been watching different animes too. Like stuff I used to like back in the day, like Inuyasha's theme songs are on there. Bleach, I don't watch Bleach, but I have. But there was a song I really liked on there. Just any show we watched, Fruits Baskets. Even Boji, even though I didn't like that anime. I like that one song about the boy. Anyway, I just thought it was funny.
I can still remember a lot of the Japanese from Revolutionary Girl Utena's ending.
I have that song too.
Truth and
I have that song too.
Love and true your heart.
I be singing. She did this last time, but I be singing. So to me, I just have to say, Boruto's different. I am not at the parts that everybody else is on because apparently everyone's like, yeah, the beginning was good, and then the middle and what they're doing now they don't like. But I haven't gotten there yet. I'm only 150 something episodes in, almost 160. Okay. So, you can do it like 10 episodes a day or even longer. Just take it slow. I just took it slow. That's why it took me a couple months to finish Naruto, but I did it slow. So that's my one blurred out.
I gotta ask a question though.
Go ahead.
I started watching Naruto. Now, granted, I'm only on like episode 3 because you were talking about how good it is and stuff.
It's good.
At what episode were you at where you're like, oh, this is awesome? Like, what's the one that hooks you in?
Oh wow, that's a good. The problem is you are starting at the beginning. So it's very much kiddish, and the animation style is like totally old because Naruto started back in like the late 90s is when he really started the manga.
Oh, okay.
And then the animation started in like the early 2000s. So that's like super old, really, if you're talking about animation like style. And then it doesn't really get serious until like the Haku start. Like once they go through the tuning exams, then you get into when they all go on missions and stuff. That's when you start to see the character growth and more and stuff. And so you also have to think they're kids at that time, but they grow to more serious things. But I just always liked it from the beginning. I thought it was funny. I liked the whole world. I liked the ninja stuff, the little shenanigans he gets into. I just always been hooked into it from the beginning. And so I've liked Naruto since I started watching it. You know? And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I liked the story about him being a loner and everybody hating him because he had something inside of him that he didn't even ask for this thing. It was just there, but they treated him terribly. But he has such a positive attitude, you know, and you will see later on if you continue to watch, it just gets better with time. Like, the stories get more involved. But that's how some animes are. Like, some people say, like, I really tried with My Hero Academia. No, not really tried. But I wasn't feeling it in the first, like, episode or two. And I was like, what is this? And I was like,
I gotta admit, because when we were at BlerdCon, somebody told us that it kind of starts off a little slow, but it's not until you get episode so-and-so. And I watched it, and I've fallen off, but not because I didn't like it. It's just, you know, I got show ADD sometimes. But I'm going to go back to it. But it did, like,
that's what you said. You said it got better. So I was like, yeah.
And then not only did it get better, it got great.
Right. See? So I was like, I'm going to have to once I finish Boruto, I'm going to have to give it another shot with My Hero Academia. But I also was watching the new anime movies. So,
speaking of, that's probably going to be our next episode, peeps.
And I was going to say, because I watched one of the films. So the guy's Makoto Shinkai, I think is his name. And he made like a series. Like, he calls them his disaster series movies. So one was called Weathering on You, or Weathering with You. And then the other one that's been really popular is called Your Name. So I couldn't find Your Name anywhere, so I watched it on one of my free sites.
That sounds funny. I couldn't find your name anywhere.
Oh my God.
It's almost like you're checking in at a desk and it's like, you're not on the list. I can't find your name anywhere.
The show is called Your Name. And it was really, really nice. I loved it. It was like one of the famous anime movies. And this guy is really coming out. So Suzume is the third film in his disaster series. But I tell you the truth, each story is totally different. They're just a collection of, like, apparently, you know, Japan sometimes undergoes a lot of natural disasters type things. So the author was very much, Shinkai Sensei, he was very much impacted by that and how it impacted Japan. So he wrote 3 different stories that all center around some kind of natural disaster and how it affected Japan, but the stories are different. So Your Name, and it was really, really interesting. I recommend you watch it because it was really moving. Not as much as Belle. Belle's still my heart right there.
I love Belle so much.
Or like Howl's Moving Castle or something. But this one is really, really nice. And the animation is beautiful. Like, that's why I'm excited to see Suzume. I'm really like, I was like, I'm about to go to the theater.
I haven't seen any trailers for it, but I read the synopsis when when I was looking online for our tickets for today's main topic of the show of Dungeons and Dragons. But I was like, I haven't even heard of this, and I looked it up. I was like, that sounds really interesting.
Cool. I've been seeing the trailers all day, so I'm like, I really want to watch it. And I think Suzume is premiering also on Crunchyroll for those who. But my main problem with Boruto is that
when.
I don't know. They said it was like whenever the movie drops, they said it was also going to be premiering on Crunchyroll.
Oh,
that's
it's not like I have a Crunchyroll subscription right now anyway. So I'm asking like it's actually going to help me.
Like, so I was like, I'd rather go to the theater or I find it on my free sites. I ain't telling you what to do, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So even me, like once, because Hulu doesn't have all of the dubbed Naruto Shippuden or all the dubbed Boruto. So I've reached a point where I've run out of the dubbed Boruto series. So now I have to go to my free sites and watch it there. But I do recommend get yourself an ad blocker for your get an ad blocker for your browser. Otherwise, you're not going to have a good time with your computer. So save your computer, guys.
I want to talk about one thing that I was misled on about this other anime that I very much enjoyed, but was misled by you, Bola.
What did I do? Are you talking about
Kotaro Lives Alone?
What happened? What did I say?
You made it seem like it was a standalone.
I thought it was a standalone.
Like, the way it ended, it looks like there's going to be, like, or there's supposed to be other seasons.
I was not told that. I just was like, okay, this is the ending.
And if you look at it on IMDb, you know, if it's just, like, if it's
you
got
be
1
on
year.
IMDb. I never get on IMDb. I'm on Wikipedia or regular, like, regular Google. I don't go on IMDb, so I never know
If you go on IMDb and it says 2022 dash, that means something else is supposed to be coming up. Maybe they don't know when.
See, that's not
But
on
if it
me.
just says 2022 with
That
nothing
ain't
behind
me.
it, that
baby.
means. That's it.
That
It's-
ain't me
it's done.
either. You can't blame me
But
for
I mean,
that.
just with the ending, it's like, no, this is not the end, because it's like, he hasn't like confronted his father, and it's like, no, I'm sorry, now I'm gonna have to get deep into
Oh,
Kotaro
my
for just a sec because we haven't talked about it. But I'm like,
oh my God.
dude,
She just usurped my blurt out. Okay.
you know what? I'm gonna let you finish your blurt out.
All right. My other blurt out is on something totally different. I watched a comedy special that had me hee-hawing my ass off. It was Marlon Wayans' new comedy special on, I think it was on HBO, or is it on HBO, the new one?
God Loves Me.
Yes, God Loves Me. Oh my!
I watched that because of you, because you mentioned it.
That thing had me and my sister dying of laughter. My face was hurting. I was just like, "This is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life."
It was hilarious.
Yes, so y'all have to go watch it. My thing, what I'm impressed about with Marlon Wayans is because Marlon Wayans is a whole fool in the regular. But what I was impressed was that he was able to take this whole topic of the Will Smith slap for Chris Rock and make a whole hour, and it didn't seem like overkill.
It didn't seem like he was beating
takes.
a dead horse. It was like, it was hilarious.
It was way better than Chris Rock's special. I'm sorry. I watched Chris Rock's new special, and I know he didn't really want to get into it because, again, he was the receiver of that epic slap. But, Marlon Wayans' his special was way better than his. Way better than Chris Rock. I would rather watch that one again. But, I've never laughed so much in my life.
It was
hilarious.
My God,
it's stellar. Like, if you really want to laugh, just watch it. He's a whole fool. My favorite part was when he was talking about how he's not going to have him. He was like, I'm a real nigga because I'm not going to have, he's like, every chance I got, I was going to come at that dude for slapping me on stage. He then was like, okay, I'm in the audience playing with the people, right? And then when the commercial break come up, he's like, you really going to hit me, nigga? He like ran across the stage and showed so many scenarios of what he would do to Will Smith during the commercial breaks. If that was him. And I didn't know he was so tight with Jada and them. Like, he's known them for a long time. I didn't know that story. And I liked hearing the background story of how much he knew Chris Rock and he knew Jada. He knew all of them back in the day. It was just hilarious. So my blurt outs are Naruto, Boruto, Your Name, and you watch God Loves Me because it's great.
It was hilarious.
And then I am done. Over to you, Whitney.
And I would just like to +1 Bola's blurt out about God Loves Me, Marlon Wayans.
Because he does, yeah. Sorry, my bad.
But I did, because you were talking about, I don't know if it was on another episode or just when we were hanging out, but because you mentioned it, I went and watched it. I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious.
Did I mention it before?
I don't know if you mentioned it on an episode or if you just mentioned it when we were just hanging out at some point, but you mentioned it and I watched it because you mentioned it. And it was hilarious. But my blurt outs, the first one, I watched the movie Bros on Amazon Prime Video, and it was I enjoyed it. It is super gay.
Yeah.
Super.
It was supposed to be a rom-com for gays. That's what I heard. I never watched it.
It was, and it is super gay, and it is funny, and I just love the main guy. Like, his like reactions to stuff. Like when they first meet, and he's like in the gay club, and they're like dancing, and he's like sees him across the room, and he looks back, and the guy's like disappeared, and then he's like next to him, and he's like, hey. And he's like talking to him, and he's saying something, and then the guy has disappeared again. He's like, what the hell? Like, he just like, and he's still talking, he just disappears. It is very boldly gay, and it's kind of awesome for it.
So it's really interesting. I'm gonna get my sister to watch it.
It's pretty hilarious. And I was like, as I was watching it, because, you know, I watch a lot of LGBTQ stuff, but this was like super... I was like, wow, this is super gay.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, it's kind of refreshingly super gay.
That it is.
So
the trailer just looked like, I never watched the film, but it just really did look like it was gonna be.
It was, yeah, refreshingly super gay. And then it had Coach Beast in there as well.
Oh wow, yeah.
From Glee, and just it's hilarious. I do recommend checking it out. But yeah, hilarious, funny, super gay, refreshingly so.
Okay.
My other blurred out is the Marvels trailer that has dropped.
Y'all, trailers are abounding right now.
Yes.
And we are super excited. The Marvels trailer
Looks like fire. I'm like, I watched it.
You know what I was so mad about? Like, I was like, as soon as I finished watching, I was like, yes! And then I saw November, and I was like, no! It's so far away. Why? Oh,
and it just reminded me of just how much I absolutely love Kamala Khan. I love all of them, but there's just something about her like bubbliness and her fangirl,
voice, cute little self,
that just makes me especially love her. Like she's like Nick Fury, and it's just I am so excited. It looks like it's going to be awesome.
There's some mad trailers like abounding that we just watched it. The Barbie trailer looks good.
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, let's go.
Oh my God, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That's probably going to be our first May episode. Very likely.
The Charlotte story, Queen Charlotte stories. I mean, just mad stuff is coming out. Like
it is, and then we probably won't get to the Little Mermaid until June since that's May 26th.
Oh yeah.
But like, just man, these trailers have been fire.
I'm like, I'm about to have to be in the movie theater all
And
summer.
when we were watching Honor Among Thieves, they had a trailer for The Flash. And I know Bola's not usually into very much the DC, and I'm like, some stuff has been good, some stuff has been trash, but I'm just like, this looks fire. Actually,
I wonder if it's because I've seen it so many times, or is it really good, or because I have an affinity for the Flash, the Grant Gustin one. No, I got his name right this time. Because I've been calling him Gustin Grant because I just like Grant just seemed like a last name to me. Anyway, but I just have such an affinity for the Flash of the CW TV series. To me, Grant Gustin is Flash all day. I don't know about Ezra Miller. But the movie version, I'm just like, as much as I don't like Ezra Miller anymore, I do like his acting's not bad. He's not bad. I would not have chosen him. I don't think he should be the Flash. I still don't see it, and I'm like, I still don't think he's the best like casting choice. But it looks good. And I'm not using what is going on with him as a thing. When I saw it, I was like, no. And I wasn't saying that, nobody else can play the Flash. Anybody else can play the Flash, but when I see the Flash, the character of the Flash, I don't see him. I was like, no. And I didn't buy it in the Justice League the Justice League either. I didn't think he fit the character at all.
I like his portrayal. It's like the kind of comedic relief part that he has.
He doesn't do that part well to me, which the Flash does well. Like, I
felt like he did. And I liked his other stuff. I especially like the thing that made me really like him was when I saw
the Perks. Movies?
No, The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yeah, everybody loved that film.
Yeah, that was amazing. So like after seeing him in that, like I loved him. Kind of on like not really Ezra Miller right now because of his other stuff. But other than that, I've actually liked him as an actor.
Cult and kidnapping people. Okay.
Anyway. But yeah, that's sad. But yeah, the Flash trailer actually looks fire, and I was excited. Like Michael Keaton as
they
Batman.
have to release it because they're like, no, we paid too much money for this, so they have to release it despite all his other stuff.
And it's like because of like the whole time travel thing, it's a good way for them. Well, the perfect way, maybe the only way, for them to seamlessly reboot the DC universe.
Let's see, because it just looks like it needs a hard reset anyway.
Which is what they can do because since it's like, time travel and stuff, that's going to allow them and, to do like a multiverse thing and like have a good explanation as to why some of these people are different characters.
But I don't know if DC should do away with what is good. Like,
that's my thing.
I don't think they should get rid of Wonder Woman.
Yes, Wonder Woman is fire. Like, please don't touch her. Please don't touch Shazam. Yes, and I'm trying to think. There's Aquaman is fun.
Aquaman is doable.
It's not like I like Jason Momoa as Aquaman. The movie was not like my top.
Yeah, but it was still like a decent film.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think. And Peacemaker. Peacemaker is fire. I love Peacemaker.
And I never watched that one. But Wonder Woman is really good. You can just do away with Ben Affleck, please do away with him. I would love that. Again, they messed up Cyborg. I like the person who played Cyborg. I did, but because of all the problems they had, they're not gonna bring him back because he was like the best one to me. Well, besides Wonder Woman, he was like the best one in that Justice League movie to me. I really bought him, and I liked what he brought to the character. I liked his voice, everything. So I would have loved to see Cyborg more, actually. But I know they're not gonna bring him back because of all the issues.
I thought that they put him more in the Zack Snyder one, like the really, really, really long.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, my brother. I saw I didn't see it like all the way through. My brother was playing it like a year or two ago, so I was watching it kind of not passively, but I didn't come in at the very beginning. But it's like 3 hours long. But it's got. I feel like it's better.
Yeah, we nerding out about all this stuff. Y'all just have to know. Y'all talk with us about it. Let us know what you are interested in, what you're excited about, and any recommendations you guys have. Okay, just have to bring that up. Also, Spider-Man into across the Spider-Verse is also looking good.
Oh my God, not good. It is looking amazing. Speaking of, awesome. I got one more thing. Another trailer we saw. Well, I'd already seen the trailer, but Seth Rogen's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles looks there's something else in the name, but I can't remember. It's like Mutant Madness or something maybe, or Mutant Mayhem. That looks pretty awesome, and the animation style looks like they've taken like notes from Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I could definitely see that influence on the animation,
and it looks great. And like the way they're portraying the characters, I feel like he has. I feel like it's going to be a really good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Turtles and a half show. Turtle power.
They say it twice though, Whitney.
Oh, I didn't know what part of the song you were at. I'm sorry.
Audible side. No, it's okay. All right.
I'm actually excited about that.
Are you done with your Blerding Out?
I have one more, which was a continuation of a conversation we had near the beginning, and that is my saltiness about Kotaro Lives Alone.
Oh my goodness. It's not my fault. I don't know. I said there was only the one season, the 10 episodes. And
but I thought you meant that it's a self-contained, it's not going to have other seasons type of.
I just thought they're not going to go into the dad because it's not about the dad. It's about Kotaro. So
well, it's not about the dad, but I felt like the dad is a big part of his journey, like part of why he's doing all this.
I think because he's only 4, he don't have the, what's the word I'm looking for? He doesn't have the maturity level to deal with that yet. So that's why he needs to stay away from his dad.
Well, he shouldn't be living on his own either, but he seems like a rather mature 4-year-old.
Yes, he's working it out.
But it seemed like, I just thought it was, we're going to have this is going to be like a mini Kotaro Lives Alone episode for a second because I want to discuss this with Bola. I just was like, it was so heartbreaking when he was like talking about his mom. Because you think that like, oh no, his mom died and she loved him so much. And it's like, oh dude, stop. It seems like maybe she really, well, it's hard to say. People are complicated, but like the fact that she had to put gloves on just to touch him.
She had problems.
She did. And it was just like, it was so sad.
She had really bad postpartum depression. And then she didn't want her child.
And that was just so sad. But like, he was like, I hang on to these gloves. It's one of the things that is left of my mom. It's the thing that allowed her to touch me. And I'm like, oh my God. And that's what anime will do to you sometimes. It will just like people break you down.
Like, people think anime's for kids. It's not. It's just the animation style. But they really bring home, like, you get touched and moved through certain animes in a way that is. On the flip side, there's some animes that are so like horrible. As in, like, they're just kind of like demonic to me that they're so real, like it's so creepy that I can't watch. So that's how like serious it is. You know, there's a spectrum. There's all this, and there's some stuff that's just too sugary, bubblegum cute that you're like, you have a toothache, and you really can't watch it because you're just like, this is too much.
Anime is like that's the thing. Anime is everything. It's not really a genre. It's a medium.
Yeah.
So it has all of the genres.
Thank you, Whitney. High five.
Yes.
That is the thing. So you can have all the different genres of stuff and still enjoy it and love it. And it's not just because it's just an animation tool. Just like how we watched our 3D animation movies. You know you were watching Frozen. Stop playing. You know you were watching Sing. You know you went to the theater to watch whatever new one that came out was. I forgot what I was enjoying Boss Baby 2 more than my nieces were. I was like laughing and hee-hawing. They're like, Auntie, it's not that serious. That's what to me.
I sure did go see Frozen by myself. Didn't even bring like a child to try to pretend or fake the funk or anything.
And I will go again to see whatever it is I want to see. I need to watch Puss in Boots, actually. The newest one I heard was good.
Oh, okay.
Because it got nominated for awards, but I need to watch that. But I haven't watched stuff like that in a while. So and let's go back to anime. But anime is like, that's why I said you should watch Your Name in those movies because they just touch you in a different way. It's
they
like,
do. Like
the
Belle,
stuff Japanese people are not able to say in real life.
And a silent voice, those things, like, it does.
They
it's
do
like,
it through the films.
Sometimes, and I don't know, like, for some of these, like, animes or movies or whatever they are, it's like, I don't know if this would have been as effective in live action.
And most of them are not.
And it's like, it's just like, it's so interesting. Like, some things you need that medium to really.
They just pull you in the drawing, and it's that medium, that anime medium that really, like, you're like, this will make no sense in a live action or in a different style or something else. It's something about anime that I don't know what it is, but it's something about it that is just bewitching. I don't know what else to say, but it's just something about it that it just pulls you in.
It does.
It moves you. Like, I'm shocked at how much
break your heart. You're sitting there like, oh my God, I'm like.
And then you can be like so distraught, so disgusted with certain things, and then so like, wow, this is deep, or like, this is a problem in their society. I need to fix this or something. It will just move you into, or like you get so touched to move that you feel like these are my characters, these are my people. Like, that's how I feel about Naruto. I'm such a diehard fan now that I've like watched it again as an adult. I'm like, these themes are really, really serious and good and deep. And you find they mix it with humor and everything.
For Bola, it's Naruto, like, and she wasn't a big fan of Ranking of Kings. For me, when I watched Ranking of Kings, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And I got my Ranking of Kings poster at BlerdCon, and when you get into it, like, you stand your anime. So I got posters. I've got like
I have to collect now.
I need to
get my
get
stuff
into
back.
collection mode. Like I must exhibit my fangirldom of this one.
Yes.
But it's just like it was so Fruits Basket.
I love Fruits Basket so much.
Fruits Basket is so top for me.
Yes.
It was just,
it's like my second favorite one.
Fruits Basket might be one of my. It's so high up there. It's hard to say what could be above it.
Yeah,
Fruits Basket is one of the top for me. It was everything.
Yeah, especially the newer one.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Is the newer one
that was fuller and like more developed. Because I'm not gonna lie, I love the old one. I was feeling the old one, but they didn't finish it. But now the full story that you get, I was like, oh, so this is what it was like. Okay.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Fruits Basket.
Fruits Basket is everything. It had everything. It had like fantasy sci-fi. It had like all of this like trauma being healed and stuff. It was everything.
And I also loved Ouran High School Host Club. That's my third favorite.
I did love that one. Oh my God.
That one I could watch over and over again and just be
so
like,
fun.
it's so good. And I really still wish there was more of it. I so wish there was more. But it's just that little, that's it.
But I feel like Japan sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes does a better job. And I guess like the streaming stuff sometimes now too does a better job of knowing when to stop. Because sometimes like people have like these shows that go on and on. Like, and you're like, this is
the Naruto. But my thing is, it can go on and on, but let it not wane.
Right? Yeah.
But it hasn't. But I'm glad they stopped it. I was like, Naruto needs to end. But then, like, okay, they took a break, and then the Boruto came around in like 2017 or something.
It can go on and on if it's going to keep being good. Now, I've stopped watching Grey's Anatomy, but not because I felt like there was a decrease in quality. It's just, my show ADD. Yeah, I fell off. Eventually, maybe when it's over, I'll probably go back and watch the entire thing. But like that one, it had like when I stopped watching, it was on like season 12 or 13, and I did not see I did not see a decline in the quality.
A divot, no divots.
I did not. It was still like excellent to me. So like if it's still good, then yeah, by all means. But sometimes I feel like people are just doing a cash grab and they're keep putting out stuff where it's like the well has run dry. Like you should have stopped.
Yes. Please tell Disney. They do not need another Harry Potter series. Like, the movies are enough for now.
Wait, I didn't think that was Disney. I thought that was like Warner Brothers.
Whatever it is. I thought Disney bought them anyway. But my bad. I might be wrong.
They bought they bought Fox.
Well, please tell whoever's trying to redo a Harry Potter TV series, please, just don't, because I don't want to see anybody besides Radcliffe, Watson, and Rupert Grint until I'm like at least 50. Like, I don't want to see anyone else. It shouldn't be redone. Like, it's ridiculous. Anyway, let's get into the movie.
Even if you're at 50, you'll probably be like, in my day.
I know. But the movies are still so current. So I'm just like, stop doing this cash grab.
Yeah.
Make new stories. Like, stop always going to the past and redoing old stuff. Like, it irritates me so much how much everything's being redone, remade. And I'm like, just make new stuff. There's a bunch of books out there that people are reading and doing stuff. Make something new.
Yeah.
Please.
I agree.
Damn. Anyway.
But I did want to, sorry, I didn't quite, we bounced around a little bit. I did want to go back to Kotaro Lives Alone.
I'm like, okay, let's have this conversation later. Let's get into the show.
No, I want to have it on.
Let's get into the show later.
Because I just quickly.
Like, you got 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to talk about his dad.
Why?
Because his mom, like, you didn't get a good picture of it, but then you find out, like, she had apparently this horrible postpartum, and she had a complicated relationship where it was hard to tell if or how much she actually loved her son. But then you hear about his dad, and he's sort of afraid of his dad. But then by the end of the series, it makes me wonder in what context he was afraid. Like, was he afraid because he harmed his son, or was he afraid because his dad harmed someone else? Because he felt like it was his fault that his dad got angry because he wanted to be strong enough to confront his dad. But I got the feeling that his dad loved him a lot. Like, where his mom was, like, really hands-off, like, I got the feeling that his dad really loved him, but that he had other problems.
I felt like that too. I felt like his dad loved him, but he had problems.
Yeah,
and that's why I encourage everybody to watch the informational clips that showed like a documentary. They're not long; they're just like short, like 10, 20 minutes. Clips of like the issues in Japan surrounding this issue with the neglected children and stuff. Please go back to that episode and watch it. And what episode was it? Dang. I believe it... I don't remember which episode it was. I will get that for you and put it in the show notes. Go watch episode this to get that Japanese... those clips from the Japanese documentaries. But to me, it's like you see that it's lots of times the parents, like... It's not that they don't even love their kids. It's just that a lot of them are so messed up themselves. And then with Japanese society, they bottle everything in. They don't talk about their issues. They don't talk about other things. And in fact, I watch a YouTube channel of this guy called Takashi, where he goes and interviews people in Japan. Just goes into people, and he asks them questions about Japan, questions about foreigners, different things, and you get to hear the truth from people that live there, people that are Japanese, and people that are non-Japanese, people living in Japan, about their culture. And with the non-Japanese, with the foreigners, all of them say what they don't like about Japan is how they're very surface level. They don't get. It's like she's like it's very hard to get deep within them. And then lots of times it's like, it's almost, they don't say what they really want to say. They have a hard time doing that. And so I think that's one of the issues. Their society is so closed up and they're not as open-minded and open-free or like we are, because they're always thinking about other people, thinking about their society, which is not bad, but sometimes it hampers your individual growth and you're not able to talk about what's really going on. And it also correlates to why they have such a high suicide rate, very high suicide rate. So instead of talking to your friend or somebody and let them know, hey, I'm having a struggle with this, I need help, they would just go and kill themselves or, act out or like leave their children and it's not that they don't love, they just don't know how to deal. You know what I mean? So I think the father loved the child. He's so messed up within himself that he acts out, lashes out, and he's a danger to the child in his state that he's in. But again, the show to me is showing how, to me, the POV is of Kotaro, the child that lives alone. So it's like you have to see it at a child point of view, vantage point. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at it that way. Of course, the child, that's why I'm like, I was fine with them not really going into all the details about that, because it's supposed to just be like, you're really focusing on this kid. You kind of want to know, you're right, you do want to know, Whitney, but at the same time, it's like, this child, I guess you just need to get that he was neglected by his parents. they weren't able to take care of him, and they left him alone, and that's why he went to the group home, the child institution, excuse me. And so the dad does look like he wants to get the child back, but it also looks like the dad is not fit yet to take him back.
I feel like from what we saw in the show, it feels like the dad didn't leave him alone, but maybe got in some type of trouble where he couldn't take care of him. Whereas the mom actually left him.
Yeah.
And that's what to me makes it, I was like really intrigued and pulled in by the show, because these complicated characters, like just when he like talks about his parents and you find out like he's afraid of his father, but then you get to the end of the series and you're like, you're thinking that his father is this monster, but then you're like, he wants his son back, and it seems like he was the one who really loved his son, because then you get to the story, oh my god, the episode with the umbrella, and how his shoulder was always wet because his mother wouldn't take care to make sure he was dry with the umbrella when Kotaro would walk around with people, and he's like, his father taught him about the umbrella, that the mark of a good person with the umbrella is that their shoulder will be wet because they're making sure that the other person.
Yeah, she reminds me of the mom of Shazam, where she was like, yeah, I'm stuck with this baby. But then if you look at the Shazam 1 film, like she just left Billy Batson. Like it's not even that she just left him. She just saw him there and she decided to leave because she was just done. She's like, I don't want to raise this child. I brought this child into the world, but I don't want it. I don't want to deal with it. I'm being selfish, thinking of myself. I'm not capable. That she's just thinking of only herself. And she just like, I'm just going to let him stay with the police and he'll land on his feet. You know, that's how the mom was to me. I felt like she had also bad postpartum, you know, but also it didn't help that you have a partner that's in the father of the child that's also not stable. You know what I mean? And like Billy Batson, his dad was in jail. She was by herself too. The mom, Billy Batson's mom. So I felt bad. I felt really bad that they had gone to a point where the boy had to eat tissue to you know, survive at one point. And I was like, come on. What were y'all both doing then to the point where the child had to... I think when the child had to get to that point, that's when you know something was going on. It's just like the episode in Kotaro where the doctor recognized too late, that the child with the teeth issues and didn't realize that she was a neglected child and that something bad happened. And that he should have known, but they didn't know what to say. The children often don't have a voice, don't have the words, and especially in that society, they don't know what to say. And those clips I put really showed that lots of times the kids want to say something, but they don't know how to say.
Something like that is probably like maybe even just universal. Like a child that age is not going to be able to articulate what their issue is. Yeah. But it was so. It was hard. Another one of those animes that's just really great at taking these complicated issues
and boiling it down
and presenting it to you, and it's just like you're.
And they leave it open. I like that they leave it wide open. So it's
I don't know if they meant to, because it looks like they're gonna hopefully do another season.
If they do, I'm gonna watch because I love Kotaro.
Yes, I loved it.
I love Kotaro.
But I was upset because I thought it was self-contained, and I was like, "There's probably gonna be another season, and I'm gonna have to wait."
Right.
Okay,
I'm leaving it at the 1 season so I can just be done.
But I'm sorry, I was so taken in by Kotaro Lives Alone that I wanted to have like a mini session on our podcast about it, because it's just so good.
It's very moving. I would recommend you guys go watch it. It's kind of sad, but it is. That's why I like that they have animes that address this kind of thing, because it's not just animes that are full of like high, you know, action packed powers, demons and monsters fighting, or just cutesiness. They have slice of life stuff there's no fluff in the show. It's nice stories because he's still a kid, but it's real. And you're even seeing on the backside where the people are surrounding Kotaro, like the one friend that was being abused by her boyfriend. That was like a big serious thing, but they touched it in a delicate way where you weren't like aggressively hit with, oh, this is it. It was almost like it came to you suddenly, like slowly by inference, you know, like you infer, oh, this is what's happening in the situation. Then they're like, oh, this is a very bad situation. Yeah. But they're not going to go into the details. You know what I mean?
And that's another thing I really love about anime. I feel like, and it's not just like American TV. Maybe it's just storytelling sometimes in general. And there's just some really great animes with excellent stories, but I feel like sometimes when people try to have like a theme, sometimes they like beat you over the head with it, where subtlety would serve so much better.
Is much better showing
and anime.
than telling.
A lot of like the great anime, because that's not to say that there's not some trash stuff out there, since there's so much of it.
There's some trash
but the great anime just does such an awesome job with like the subtlety and weaving in the stuff where you're not hit over the head with it, but you get it because it's just like it's show, don't tell.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, okay, that's it.
All right, so we're gonna get into our review of
Dungeons and Dragons.
Honor Among Thieves. All right, so Whitney, have you ever played D&D before?
I have never played Dungeons and
Dragons. I know, and I was wondering, I'm not gonna lie to you. I know, like, you kept hearing Dungeons and Dragons, like, it was always talked about in pop culture. Like on TV shows, sitcoms, people, but
everybody
no one ever
told
me, no one ever talked to me about Dungeons and Dragons.
Same.
I have not heard anybody play it. I've not seen it. I have no idea what it's about.
I kind of, the reason that I kind of know what it's about is because of Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
And kind of because of Stranger
back
Things.
In high school, though, because that's when people were playing, or middle school.
People
I never knew about it.
And people probably still play it. But yeah, that's the only reason that I kind of know is because of Stranger Things and Big Bang Theory. And I was like, oh, that's what it is. It seems like the Dungeon Master kind of writes the story. Like, it's not a self-made. Like, they almost kind of come up with...
Who is the Dungeon Master?
Whoever they choose to be the Dungeon Master.
Okay.
So, like, somebody takes on the role of Dungeon Master, where they're going to come up with the narrative behind, and then through rolling and stuff, you find out, like, how is this situation going to come out? Do they go this way or that way or blah, 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 blah? But, like, the Dungeon Master seems to be the person who kind of comes up with the narrative or the background story, is what I get from it. I could be wrong. Sorry, everybody, if you're a D&D player and you're like, you're totally off base. I've never played it or seen it played. I'm just piecing together what I get from Big Bang Theory and, like, Stranger Things.
If you're a D&D player, please tell us what's the gist in a few sentences. You know what I mean? Let us know. Educate us, please. But I really thought it was cool because I had watched like a clip of the I always do my research clips afterwards. Not many that I watched this time, but I thought it was cool that the cast actually played a D&D game like right after they did their reading of a script.
Oh,
their table read. They played a game.
Okay.
And so just to get them in the feel of it, and like the writers are really big fans and really big. This is their heart. They love D&D. But what I like about this was that if you're not a D&D person and you've never played and you just know the name but you don't know what it's about, you watch this and you're just like, this is just a regular nice fantasy quest movie.
Yeah.
And I have to say it's refreshing because I haven't seen a quest movie that's pure fantasy like this in a while. Like I was getting mad like Robin Hood, the Lord of the Rings vibes, like just straight up quest movies.
I kind of got Marvel vibes as well, and the final battle, like the way that they were beating the crap out of what's her name. I was like, this looks like one of the awesome Marvel movie fights.
With the Avengers fight. Yeah, it was really really cool. But I like that, and they even had like a game piece part in the movie where they were in the games in that maze and stuff, and they had to figure things out. I thought that was very cool as well. So to me, I'm like, I'm curious about the game. I still be like, I don't know if I'm going to be part of this or I can get into it. Mostly because I don't know where to go. But at the same time, I enjoyed this film, and I was like, I would watch another film of the. You know what I mean?
That's my
quality. First impression
of this quality.
I like a good quest movie, and I'm not gonna lie, I watched this, and there was a lot of other stuff in here, but I was like, wow. I haven't seen a good fantasy quest film in a while. Like I feel like these films were made like back in the later 2000s, and they stopped making them. And then other stuff kept coming up. Because I was like, man, we used to watch like a lot of these pure fantasy movies back in the day, and they'd be like a quest, a journey, or something. And the heroes are like vanquishing something, or they're trying to find something. And I felt those vibes come up in this film. Yeah, I like how multi-layered this film was. That's my first impression.
I really enjoyed it too. I just remember seeing like the trailers and stuff, and like this looks like it's going to be very entertaining. And they had an awesome cast, like Chris Pine. What is it? Melissa Rodriguez? Michelle Rodriguez.
Not her. I mean, my sexy is Reggae John Paul.
Oh. Hugh Grant in there too, and then like a couple people I'm not as familiar with, like the person who played
the druid.
Yeah,
I think
well, not the druid, because I think. Oh wait, was she a druid?
That's what they call her, right?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was getting some of the.
Because they all have like a role that they're playing. I don't know what Holga's role was, Rodriguez's role, but I think
she was like warrior.
Warrior, that's it. Okay, so it looks like
I mean, she might be more, but I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
player,
there's
so
names
like...
for it. So like, Chris Pine's character is actually called a bard, but I was like, why is the bard like? I like the like it was almost like they combined like a heist movie, and an adventure quest thing, and it was like they combined everything in one. It seemed like. I like that they were able to do that, and it still didn't fall apart. Like it wasn't too much.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they all had a role, and one's a sorcerer, one's the one with the powers.
Simon
to
and Doric, I wasn't really as familiar with. Simon, the actor who plays Simon.
Yeah. Those
I've seen him in something, but
I only seen him in this, so I don't know.
Oh, Detective Pikachu! I've never seen it, but I saw trailers of him in it. That's why he looks familiar. Pikachu? Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't think I've ever seen the girl Doric.
I've never seen her as well.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Oh, no! Snap!
What?
That's her?
Who?
From It. Oh, you definitely wouldn't have seen it.
No.
But yeah, that's her. That's the main girl, Beverly Marsh from It. Oh, okay. I didn't recognize her with like the hair and the ears and the stuff.
The horns.
Yeah. So that's right. And the horns.
So this film is like, to me, very fantasy heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I would call it fantasy heavy, not fantasy light, because of the existence of all the powers, the wizards. There's so many creatures and everything in this. Some creepy factors, you know. You can get like a little bit of Merlin, like the TV series Merlin, mixed with some other things. Like it was like so much stuff. Like all those shows and fantasy series back in the day are like this movie had like compounded them all into this one thing. And then this was also funny. This had a lot of humor. I enjoyed it. Like my favorite thing, like the film ended on a really like funny note to me. I like guffawed in the theater.
That was hilarious.
I just loved it because in the beginning of the film, Chris Pine was like looking for somebody named Jarnathan, so much so that he kept talking about his backstory, but he kept interjecting. Now, where's Jonathan? Where's Jonathan?
I feel like Jonathan would benefit from hearing this part of my backstory.
And they're like, forget about Jonathan. We're perfectly capable of deciding your sentence. And not knowing that Jonathan was like a big ass bird, and they were waiting for it because they were trying to like push him through the window and use him to fly out, because they weren't even gonna wait to be like denied or accepted. They were just like, nah, we getting out of here no matter what.
Sorry, interjection. Who is Jenya?
Jenya?
From Shadow and Bone.
Oh, the one that was the Red Witch.
Yeah, but like
Jenya
which character?
Was the one with the tailor. She stayed in the castle.
Oh, okay. Because I was looking at her and I was like, this person looks familiar.
Yes, Jenya from Shadow and Bone. Yeah. She is also in this, which I was really happy to see, because I was like, oh, I love seeing them do other projects.
It's Sophina, but yeah, I was looking at her and I was like, she looks like I've probably seen her before.
I told you this last time.
Oh, okay.
You forgot.
Yeah, probably so. Probably so.
Yeah, but the Jonathan thing was so funny because when the bad guy, Hugh Grant's character,
Forge,
mm-hmm. when he got his comeuppance and got caught, and then he was telling his own little story and everything, and he tried to do the same thing that Chris Pine's character tried to do, and it didn't work for him. They're like, oh, we learned. We didn't put the window there no more. He ran straight into a wall, and that shit had me dying of laughter. I could not stop laughing. I still think it's funny, because they're like, oh, no, we learned, bitch. You ain't doing that again. Jonathan was like, you're not doing that to me 2 times. I got y'all. It was so funny. And anyway, can I just say this?
It was hilarious.
When it comes to Hugh Grant, I don't know what it is about his demeanor, his face, whether he's because he's British, but he's just always like a twat. He's always like, you just know when you watch this film, he's going to be the greasy bad guy. And he's going to be like so polite about it, but be a real asshole.
I would say modern Hugh Grant, because like the older stuff, he's like the shy, bumbling, not fool necessarily, but the shy, bumbling character.
I don't know. Ever since I watched him in Bridget Jones, I was just like, this is you.
Oh my God.
I was like, is this an extension of you, Grant? And I mean, he did have that whole like scandal of where he was married to the beautiful Kate Beckinsale, or I think he was married to her. I'm not sure. And then he was cheating with the black lady. He got caught. Remember that? That was a whole scandal. That happened. I
remember I couldn't remember who he was married to and who he cheated on or with or whatever. But yeah, Hugh Grant. But I do remember that he was cheating or some of the stuff.
Some chocolate.
What is up with all these men having steak at home and insisting on going out
beautiful wives, and yet it's not enough for them. Anyway, but he just comes off like I already knew from the beginning when they set up the story, and I was like, wait a minute. Hugh Grant's character was a con man, and he was part of their team, and I was like, no, he's gonna betray them. Yeah. I already knew.
You can see it coming a mile away.
Yes, and it's not because the story, it's because of Hugh Grant. I was like, you're not gonna be in here and play the good guy. No, that's not you. So you know, some people are like always playing villains. That's them. You know, like Mark Strong. Mark Strong constantly plays villains in films. He was the bad guy in Shazam 2, the bad guy in Stardust. He'd be the bad guy in some other stuff. He's probably only a good guy in British things.
He was a good character in Kingsman, though.
He was he a good character in Kingsman?
I thought he was like the support character who helped with like the different tools.
Colin Firth. Oh well, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, not the main character, the one who was helping.
He's either kicking ass in the film or he's the bad guy. That's my thing with Mark Strong. But I just like Hugh Grant has just this thing about him where you're like, yeah, you could be this bitch
kind
ass.
of smarmy a lot.
Yes, smarmy. I was gonna say bitch ass, but okay. I just call him a bitch ass because I'm like, that's how his character looks. So I was like, I knew he was gonna betray. I knew he was gonna be a bitch ass. I knew he was gonna do something bad. I just knew it. I just didn't know on the scale his character's depravity was. I was like, how are you going to tell me you're a better father than me? I said, watch my kid. I said, take my kid. The whole movie, I was like, no, you are not fitting to take my kid. Like, I was just mad for Chris Pine's character. I was like, how are you just going to be like, that's my kid now? When you know I was going to come back. Like, he was like, I wasn't really expecting you to come back so soon. I was like, damn. So you just wholly just wanted to steal my kid from me. I just had a problem with that. Like, that's why I thought he was a bitch ass. But anyway,
I mean, there were many reasons. Let us count the ways that he was a bitch ass. But yeah, that was one.
Yes. There was a lot of funny parts in this film too.
I loved Michelle Rodriguez's character.
She was kicking ass. Let's talk about her.
She was such a kick ass. Like during that fight when they escaped from Ford,
every fight scene.
Oh my god,
amazing.
Ed Gein hardly did. He did one thing, like at the very end, but other than that, she took care of like 12 soldiers by herself.
She was the funniest thing about her character was the person she fell in love with.
Yes.
I looked at this and I'm like, notice fire warrior, kick ass chick, take names later, is in love with a hobbit. I was like, no, you are not. Like, this dude is mad. I was like, is this a dwarf? Like, what is this? I was like, Bradley Cooper, you in Dungeons and Dragons?
I wasn't sure either what his like species or whatever it was supposed to be.
And I was like, why is he so short? And then I was like, she got kicked out of her tribe because she fell in love with another species or another person, something outside of her tribe. And I was like, it's a damn hobbit. Like in D&D, they have hobbits, or at least a dwarf. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think he was a dwarf though, because remember in one of the scenes when they were in the maze, you saw a dude that looked like he was actually looked like a dwarf. So
I don't know what he was, but he was mad small. And the sad thing was when she came back to the house with all of them to get her stuff and just see the guy again because he like broke it off with her. Her husband broke it. Her husband I don't want to be your husband anymore. He broke it off with her. You see his new wife is just like her. Just bigger. I was like, damn, that sucks.
And it was just hilarious because they both had types. Because then at the very end of the movie, like they
she
get
saw
there,
another one that was small. I was like, no, she did
not. Is she giving him the ass? Like, I'm like, oh wow.
Like, what is it with her and the small man? And I'm like, damn, okay. This is how she likes it. She can kick ass and she loves potatoes. I love her quirks of her character. She loves boiled potatoes. And you're not supposed to bother her while she's eating her damn potatoes, y'all. If you talk to her while she's eating your potatoes, she will deck you. And I just thought it was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
But I mean, as fierce as she was, I love her heart.
I did
as well, and then how she took care of Cairo.
The writing too of like these characters and their dialogue, and when what's the druid's name? Doric. Yeah, when Dork's like, I'm not doing this for the money. And Holga's like, we'll take your share then.
I know. She had the best lines. Like, some of the best lines, but she kept it real. She was like, okay, we're going to keep you upside the money if you don't want it. Like,
and she's like, yeah, you can escape through there. You can turn into a deer. They're like, what? Like,
and then I realized there was a deer emblem on, I think the deer is for her her crest or her tribe, because there was like a deer emblem on her clothes.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah. But then, like, as Dork is escaping, because
she turned into a deer.
I was like, wow.
That's why I loved her character the most, I think, in the film.
Yeah, I agree.
I also thought it was really nice that they, because, you know, the whole time you could see that Chris Pine's character, Edgin, weird name.
Yep.
Edgin, that's why I keep calling him Chris Pine's character. Edgin, like, you could see, like, this whole time, he was like, even though he was moving forward, it was like he really was stuck in the past because he couldn't let go of his wife and what happened to her. And it looked like it was because of the guilt of what caused it, because he tried to steal some gold when he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And then he stole. That always happens. When you steal from the wrong one, you get punished. When you take from the wrong one, it's like, oh, we got you now. So I felt bad for him as well. But it's like he learned to let go.
Yeah. Because that was the thing. Like, I understand why he wanted to do what he did. You know, he loved his wife. He wanted his child to have her mother back. But then it had been, like, years, like, probably over a decade. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, at that point, like, what reggae, I always want to say John Paul, but it's John Page, isn't it?
Damn, I messed it up. Reggae John Page, my bad.
Yeah, what reggae John Page's character was saying to Edgin about, you know, there are many worlds, and, you know, she's been dead for some time, so she's, like, moved on to another world. So if you bring her back, you'll be ripping her, or another life or whatever, you'll be ripping her away from that life. And I'm like, you know what? He's got a very good point. Because, like, it makes me think of throwback, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because she, like, died, and in the series, and probably one of the middle seasons, like 5 or something. And they were like, they came up with a spell and they brought her back. And for, like, the next, like, half a season, there was, like, all of these, like, depression episodes because they had actually ripped her out of heaven. She's like, she was in heaven, so she's like, why did you do this to me?
Yeah, that's weird.
And I'm like, dude, like, that's a good point. Like, you may be ripping her away
from somewhere great.
Yeah.
You know, and I like that. I'm not gonna lie, I love that the dragonfly symbolized the wife. Because of that whole little cute scene where
they're hiding.
They were like, he was hiding from the dragonfly. He was like, but then they're trying to get it. And she's like, just let it go. And I just love. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought something was going on with it. I was like, is this his wife's spirit? Is she gonna pop out of the thing? Is she a druid for real? You know, I don't like. I was just wondering, but I like what it just symbolized that he just needed to let her go. That she was giving him permission to let her go and be fine. And like he kept saying that he was doing it for Kyra, but he was really doing it for himself because Kyra never knew her mom. She was still a baby when the mom died.
Yeah, I mean, knew, so but like, not
memory.
Conscious. Yeah, exactly. No conscious memory.
She has no memory. That's all. So it's like it's very difficult as someone who lost their like parent really young. It's like, to me, it's almost like, oh man, it's like you don't miss that person as much. I miss, like, to me, for someone who lost their father like a really young age, to me, I just miss having a father. I didn't necessarily miss my actual father, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like John B. Hanson, which is what his name was. I don't know if I missed him. I don't know if I'm like, oh man, I wish he was around. I don't know. But I just miss not having a father in general. Now, see, where Holga stepped in to be a mother figure for her. Yeah. Having Holga come back from the dead was way better than the mom coming back. Because that girl has all her memories, all her moments of points, everything with Holga. And
you're not ripping her back. She hasn't been gone long enough to, like, be ripping her away from where she should be now. Like, after, like, you know, it probably been 10 years. So, like, ripping his wife away would have been probably traumatic for her. Because it's like, dude, not cool. Whereas Holga, you know, she had already become her second mom. That is who... That's who she recognizes basically as her mom. And anyway,
the girl, I felt it because the girl was like, "I need you." I was so mad because I was like, Forge, Hugh Grant's character, done brainwashed the child in the 2 years. Because I was like, she was so disrespectful to her dad. I was like, why are you talking to your daddy like that? telling you.
Like what? Wait. What did she say?
Remember, she was like, she just came off like really like, but it was because Ford's brainwashed her anyway. Made her think like he was only about the money, and he was like,
I didn't feel like she said anything disrespectful though. I feel like she said some hard truths.
Well, I was just like, she didn't seem like grateful to have her dad back. I think he'd been gone for 2 years, and
she did. I mean, she hugged Holga first, but then she did hug him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was like she was so distant from him. I'm like, this is your actual dad. Like, what are you doing? He came back for you, but
he also left when they didn't like. What when he left, she said, "But we have everything we need." So I understand that kind of why she was probably upset with him. She's like, "What was so important that you needed to separate yourself from me?"
That's true too. But I was like, at least recognize that he came back. He was trying to come back. But I think it's because the poison that Forge fed her that made her harden her heart towards him a little bit.
Yeah, because like the reason, like, I think anybody would have been understanding. Like, I understand what you're trying to do, what you tried to do. We didn't need it because I haven't been without. I had the mother figure in Holga, but making her think that he did it all for treasure was probably
messed up.
Yeah,
so messed
and
up.
That's what made it like really bad because the reason makes a difference.
Right.
It still was not good that he left because, like she said, we have everything we need. Like, why did you leave? But he still like it made sense because from like a grief and trauma standpoint, he remembers he has memory of his wife and he lost her. Whereas the daughter doesn't have any memories
of her. So it was like, yeah, bring mom back. But then it'd be like, I would have to get to know mom.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to, I already know Holga and love Holga. This is like my mom to me. Right. So I get what you're saying. Let's talk about the wizard. I really like the story that he was like a sorcerer that wasn't a good sorcerer. And it's because he lacked confidence in himself.
Oh my God. I loved Simon's shenanigans. Simon.
What? Oh, Simon, yes. He was just a whole mess of funny and trouble. And I like the arc of him, like, he had to in tune with the helmet, but it was really in tuning with himself.
I love that
what
too.
They did that in the film.
That was awesome, where he's like, You're my great grandfather who was like a great sorcerer, and then finding out, oh, the only thing holding me back was myself. That was a nice little.
He got himself out of there. Like he punched himself. Really, he's like, you need to get out of your way. And it's like that. That's the kind of thing we need to do sometimes because we get in our own way when it comes to things. Where lots of times we're the ones that convince ourselves that we can't do things, or we like shortcut our blessings, or our we never make it. We create regrets because we don't get out of our own way.
We are our own worst enemies.
Yes, and then as soon as you see him in tune with that thing, and he in tune with himself, all his wizardry and all his sorcery was like on fleek. I was like, damn.
Level up. He had the hand thing.
I was like, he was holding his own against the Red Witch. I was like, damn.
And she didn't successfully cast the time spell because he's like, bitch, I got you. I got better.
Right? I just love that they all came together. I'm not going to lie to you. It was a quest movie to like, the main thing was like, get my daughter back, get back at Forge. And they had accomplished it in the most roundabout way, but it was still awesome. I loved how they, like, the second half of the film was just like, whoa. It was really cool. I mean, all of it was cool, but it was, like, really cool. I loved the latter half of the movie than the beginning half. But the beginning half was great, too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I really, really got into it the most at the end. Mid to end. And I just love that they all came together. They were more unified. Everybody was working together. I would not even have known they would be able to, like, get that cuff on her. That even Kyra got in there with her little necklace that makes her invisible. I just was like, that was a great move.
That was.
I was like,
that was
yes,
awesome.
Of course she would have known. I just thought it was great how they defeated her. I'm not really sure what she was trying to do in the first place. So to me, I was like, why was she trying to recreate? And I was like, well, if you don't like humans so much, I was like, go away. Like, that's my mind. I was like, why are you living with the humans if you really despise them so much? You're a witch, sorcerer, red witch, whatever. Just go away.
I was also a little bit confused on that aspect too, because it looked like she was talking to someone else.
Yeah, that weird, creepy thing. I was like,
but then it looked like she was kind of the thing at the end. So I'm like, is she the original wizard? Or like, I'm a little confused on that aspect.
Right. So Daisy Head did a great job. Daisy Head, who plays Jenya on Shadow and Bone, also, but Daisy Head's a British actress, and I thought she did a great job
of being really creepy.
Yes, of being really
and
creepy,
awkward looking. She'd just be like staring straight ahead, and you're like, uncomfortable.
She had those big eyes too to do it, and I was like, in that bad makeup. I mean, the makeup wasn't bad, but it just made her look bad because it was like so much black around her eyes.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, why I even took a assignment from her was ridiculous. She was like, just look at her and know she's trouble. You can just look at her and be like, hell the fuck no. I was like, okay, this is the scenario. Had they been black, let's take a second. Had they been black, you're a con person. You do little petty heists and things here, thieving, tomfoolery, whatever. You sitting chilling, you grab a soda, Hennessy, whatever you guys like. You're in the pub, whatever they are, and this chick come up to you. She got a whole hood on, covered her face. All the rings around her eyes are black as night. This is what a black person does. She comes to you like, I need help doing this and be like, nah, I'm good. I can't do that for you. That's exactly what we're going to say. You take one look at her and be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good right here. Get somebody else. Bye. That's what we do. Like, you don't take that up. Just look at her. She was like trouble.
Right. To use a phrase from a Black Lady sketch show, sus.
Yes. She was extra sus, and I was like, nah, I would never. Like, I don't know why they even took a job from her, but it was all part of the trap, and they fell for it. So that was one thing.
Can we also talk just for a second about that extra long spider web coming off of the tablet of rejuvenation?
What was that? But I guess
because when he was pulling it, I mean, I know it was a security device, but when he was pulling it, I was like, ooh,
yeah. I was like, is the spider still
sticky.
attached? Like,
right?
It's like, why is it extra long? But I guess it was the security measure that set off the whole thing. Be like, oh, this is a trap. Okay, this is a trap.
You know what? During that sequence, for a second, I was looking at Egan like, you asshole. Because when he was like, when Holga got caught in the time thing, I was like,
he was about to leave her.
He paused and he was about to leave. I was like, you asshole.
He was about to leave. He was like, I'm sorry, Holga, but he was like, right for himself. I was like, and also, Holga was like fighting all the bad guys off, and he was just standing there. He was just sitting there, like, just trying to get free. And, like, I was like, oh, my gosh, Egan, you're a dude. You can't even take somebody down.
Oh, you mean when they were escaping from Forge?
Yeah, I was mad at him in that scene. I was like, so you're not going to kick one guy. She got to do all the fighting.
And this always happens to him. Like, when they were trying to sneak into the castle, and they had, like, the double of the Egan playing, the bard,
the loot.
The loot. And you see, all of a sudden, it starts like that.
Oh, my
that was
God,
so
the
weird.
magic went bad. I was like, ew, he looks so creepy.
Because his foot was stuck, and it's like, dude,
Lord,
why is it always you, Edgar?
The world is very creative. I have to say, people like the D&D world. It's because it's super creative. It's super full. It's rich, and it's like, at first I thought I'm going to have to know some words, terminology to watch this film, because I was like, I don't know what a Thean is. Because I kept trying to figure out what is Reggae Jean Page character, what is his thing? Like, what is a Thean? I wasn't sure what that was, and I still am not sure, but I just know he's just a cool kick-ass dude.
I think that's a
tribe, maybe
race or culture or tribe type of thing.
But I wanted to know, like, what is it they stand for? Are they just very upright, or he's the only one that's upright?
I think that he's one of the only ones, but only because that spell turned a lot of them into like stuff like what was her name? The villain's name?
The right witch,
Sophina.
Sophina.
To like things like Sophina, where they basically didn't really have their own will anymore. And the reason, like, so I feel like he said, he was like, not all, what are they called?
Theans.
Not all Theans are like that. He's like, but like, hundreds of years ago, they cast a spell when they were all gathered together and basically turned them all into these things.
Yeah. But they all have like a classification and a grouping. And so I was trying to figure out what it was, but I don't know all the terminology, so I still am not sure what a Thean is, but I just love his outfit. I love everything about him. Seeing him fight was awesome.
Watching him walk away.
Ask Whitney. I swooned in the theater. I was like, so beautiful. I literally did the faint hand on the forehead. And it's like, if I wasn't sitting on a chair, I'd be like, somebody catch me.
Oh my God.
I was so dramatic.
It's just, once again, like the writing and everything for this movie was so hilarious.
It was really
because
cute.
when the quest with, oh man, Zach, what was his character's name?
Zenk Lathian?
Yeah, Zank. You're right, Zank. Like when they were done and he was walking off, he's like, and Edgin's like, he walks in very straight lines. He's like, oh, here comes a boulder. Is he gonna go around it? Nope, he's gonna walk right.
No, I love the little pockets of humor. Like my favorite thing was him explaining the story in the beginning, and he just kept talking about Jonathan the whole time. He's like, "Who is Jonathan?" And then you saw he was a big ass bird. I'm bringing it up again because it is the whole Jonathan thing.
I thought it made it seem like they knew him, so he was going to put in a good word. But it's like, no, we just need him to fly
because we need to fly him out of here. I was like, damn, y'all are wrong. I think I think the cast members had a good time with this film.
It seemed like it.
It was so interesting. It's like a fun romp in a fantasy world, and you go on a quest with these characters. And it was just great. Okay, so let me ask you, Whitney. Mm-hmm. Now that we know all the different parts, we're just gonna assume that Reggae and Miss Rodriguez characters are warriors. Mm-hmm. All right, so if you were a part of this world, the D&D world, which one would you want to be? Would you want to be a bard, warrior, the druid, or the sorcerer?
I would want to be, I think, the druid.
That's what I'm saying. The druid had so awesome power to turn into any animal. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the owl bear was really cool.
That was really cool.
I was like, the way she was smacking down that stone dragon, I was like, it
was
girl.
Like Hulk in like the first Avengers.
Yeah,
she was like,
smash. I was like, she threw that thing around like a rag doll. That witch was dead. Okay, ding dong, the witch is
D-E
dead.
The
witch is done.
D-E dead.
D-E-N-D I don't even know why I went there. But she was done, and she was like, I'm going to keep slapping her. Even when she was like, she's like, smacking some more,
like,
smash,
I think she's dead. But now that she had the hand up, she's like, no, she ain't dead.
I mean, oh, man. I do like the kicking ass part, that the warrior part. Definitely not a bard. But I also like the sorcerer part, too. But you're right. The druid is really cool. You can turn to any animal thing you need to get where you need to go.
Yeah.
Because she saved them during the game. So I don't know
what
they were going to do in the maze game. Oh, my God. If she didn't have that quick thinking. And if she didn't lose her, that damper, that cuff that dampened her powers.
Right, yeah.
If she didn't lose that in that little jelly thing that, like, apparently, like, eats her skin off.
I think it just eats anything. I think it just dissolves.
It dissolves like all flesh. It was really bad.
I think it dissolves like, well, yeah, I guess flesh, because like the thing didn't look like it was dissolving.
No.
But like then you saw like the skeleton and stuff in there, so just like almost like acidic or something.
Yeah.
Or like soft materials.
I would have picked the warrior because I just love a good fight. Like being to have the strength. She had some. Holga had such strength.
I loved her character, but if it was me like picking a character type, I just would go for.
Holga.
For druid.
Oh, okay.
Because I just thought it was so cool.
I can see that being you. So are we ready to rating? Oh yeah, you guys, there was a fat dragon in this one. Like there's a hilariously fat dragon. Yes. And the funny thing about this was like he was so fat that he couldn't fly to eat them because they were running around this place, they're being chased. He was just kind of sliding everywhere because he couldn't like lift himself.
And then at one point, I forgot what happened, but then it's like he like rolled over because he got like rolled, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is."
That dragon, like, oh my goodness, this.
And then Zink's like, I forgot what the name of the dragon is. Like, so and so has found a new lair. He was like, did he eat the old one?
Right. I just thought it was hilarious because it's like you see this dragon, he's hungry, but he's like, I'm a slide. I can't lift myself, but I'm a slide.
And the funny thing is, and I think this is correct, I think it was the same dragon from when they were waking all the dead people up trying to figure out what happened in that battle, the dragon that was flying over. Yeah. I was like, oh man, that dragon is really
he spent some time eating up. And he did not move from that little lair. He was like, I'm gonna just sit here and eat.
Which makes you think now, because it's like, dragons in most fantasy movies are hoarders, and they like to sit over their treasures. Like, why don't most dragons look like they just sitting there like over their treasure?
Yeah. So this film was like an awesome fantasy romp. Honestly, there's humor, There's like touching moments. There's lessons to be learned. It has all the trappings of a great action film, great action adventure. Let me say that, because some action films are just crap. With explosions. Expendables. Terrible ass movie.
Oh, snap. That made me think. I'm just going to give one more shout out for a little blurred out moment. The trailer for Transformers Rise of the Beast. Because all of you out there who were Transformers Beast Wars fans, oh my God, I fangirled, squealed like 3 times during that trailer.
So if you like Transformers, y'all, that's coming up. There's plenty of good movies coming out.
Yes.
But we also think you should go watch this one.
Yes.
I recommend you watch this one. So are we ready for rating?
Yeah, you go first,
right.
girl.
I'm going to give this film 8 glasses.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to, and this is going to get real messy now, I'm going to give it 8 glasses, a monocle, and a contact.
Okay. That's cool. You're going to do the math, though.
I'm going to have to actually break out my calculator now. Because I'm like, this is some messy math, right?
She gave it a 8.5. That's
8.75.
Okay. That's fine. So that's a solid film. If you get more than a 7 from me, that means you're pretty good.
Yeah, that's not coming out to anything. 8.375, you guys. Like, I don't even know how to translate that into our glasses, monocles, and contact lens system.
You can't have half a contact. You can't have half a monocle.
I mean, we can say it's half, but I still don't know with our system what that's going to
mean. You know, they make like, you know how they have new glasses now with different geometric shapes? You can do like a crescent moon. Now I'm being stupid, y'all. I'm just being silly. Anyway, but that's our review of the film. I really enjoyed it. I think it was really awesome. You just got to set yourself in for like a action fantasy adventure. It is good for the family.
Like,
heist.
Yeah.
Just fun games. And if you're not someone who likes all that, then that might not be the film for you. But I personally am a fantasy girl. Yeah. I enjoyed.
And this has been your non-Dungeons and Dragons players.
Yes, I don't know nothing about D&D.
Of Dungeons and Dragons. And so for all of you out there who have never played, like us, Dungeons and Dragons, we think you'll like this.
I think you'll like it,
because we have never played Dungeons and Dragons.
I never played, and I still don't know all the stuff, and I don't know nothing about no dungeon masters. But I watched this film, and I felt like this film is really good for those who don't play D&D. Like, if you really... I felt like they did... The creators of this film and the directors, everybody did a great job at making this film accessible to even non-D&D lovers and D&D players. Because to me, I'm like, this is just a film.
This is a great
fantasy film in this world.
Yeah.
And I loved I thought it was well casted. The writing was awesome.
Yep.
Cinematography was great.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. I have nothing bad to say. It was so creepy at a certain point. Like, this film has so many different points where it was like, you got like really creepy, then you got really funny mixed with the creepy, then you got like really heartfelt mixed with funny, then you got like action mixed with like fantasy element. It was just cool.
Really bad math because they could not count those questions for the dead dude.
Yeah.
The one dude who was still
good characterization. Everybody was really... I just liked everybody in the cast, and I thought it was a really nice film. It's a good watch. And so if you don't watch it in the theater, I would watch this again when it comes on streaming.
I would. Yeah, I would.
I would definitely watch it again.
Really fun. It's it's a great rewatch value.
All right, y'all. And that has been our review of Dungeons and Dragons.
Honor Among Thieves.
Yay. All right. So you guys know what to do. You'll hear all of our social media stuff at the end, but have a good spring, y'all. Try to avoid the pollen. Let's just say that.
Get your Claritin.
Your cetirizine, your Flonase, all that stuff. And still enjoy the nice weather before it gets too humid and you
keep it with you on your Batman utility belt, y'all. You need it.
Yes, and enjoy it while it lasts because, you know, the humidity will hit us soon when you're going to be basically rotisserie chicken out here in these streets. And that's what I hate. But whatever. Enjoy the nice day. Because today was like a really nice day, wasn't it?
It was a very nice day.
Indeed. People had their shorts out. Like, they had the legs out, arms out, toes out. Everybody was having stuff out. Well, not too much stuff. Not too much stuff. Anyway, y'all, I just say enjoy your spring. We'll be back with another episode for this month, okay?
All right.
Bye, everybody. Blerd out.
Blerd out.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Please subscribe to our show on whatever podcast listening app you use and share the show with other Blerds and non-Blerds, family and friends. And if you like this episode, please subscribe to our email newsletter at blerdtalkbw.ck.page and also rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts.
Intro and outro music is Twilight by Caption. You can find them on SoundCloud, username Caption spelled Capshun. Show notes by Bola Hanson. Audio engineering by Whitney Booker.
And don't forget to get social, you guys. You can email us at blerdtalkbw@gmail.com. And our social media handles on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is at BlerdTalkBW. And our YouTube channel is youtube.com/@BlerdTalkBW. And we've got our individual things going on too. You can find the Triple F Queen on Instagram at Triple F Queen B as in boy. And my YouTube channel is youtube.com/@Triple F Queen B.
And you can find me, Whitney, at Luminabi Studios, my company, and the email address is wit@luminabi.com, spelled WHIT@LUMENABI.com. And you can also find me on Twitter at Luminabi Studios.